Hey, folks, and welcome back to the Lone Star Vanguard Pugs over here on the Lone Star Vanguard channel. Hopefully, you all just migrated over with us and over to our next map, which is going to be Junkertown. Nice and warm over there in the Australia. Long sight lines coming up. We did see a little bit of that McCree coming through from the Charmander Click, who has now gone through the
Dun,
evolution
dun,
marks,
dun,
and
dun,
they are
dun,
now
dun,
uh,
dun.
marks.
I'm not saying you might just be a little biased here, but you did just say that you do favor both water and tortoises. I'm not sure how you feel on war. That's still up in the air. We can talk about that afterwards. The whole book that dude wrote that one time, Ancient Chinese. I'm sure you're a huge fan of
You
it.
kn-
But regardless, we have what do you call it? We've got the War Turtle Warlord starting us out on this defense on Junkertown, and it looks like that they're gonna be using this Sigma Diva composition that we saw them bust out from the last time. Especially too seeing a Mercy and a Moira on board as well means that they're gonna be trying to be a little bit quick about sweeping up these team fights. As the doors open, let's see what the Charmeleons now want to be bringing to the table. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit of a Rush-inspired composition here.
Ooh, Junkertown and Rush, that definitely can go hand in hand, but we have Apollo is a nasty DPS. He actually got to play in the Battle for Texas showdown, four team Lone Star Vanguard, of course, here. And he was absolutely on fire, which, he is super low, needs to be healed and can't take Quotient on. Quotient gets that extra arrow down, and, well, there it is. The Charmeleon champs just pushing the cart forward, trying to whittle down the War Turtle Warlords and their barrier here. Now, big res coming through on Taco. That's going to put the Warlords back up full strength here. And there's the Dragon's Marks just tearing through. Charmeleons have been split in half, and the Valk has to be committed by Ellie over here. That's a good thing. Able to jump straight over it. High Noon popped in. It's Apollo going down, who has switched back over to that McCree. And it's looking like, well, with the res coming through, Marks, I thought the Charmeleons needed to regroup a bit, but they've only done a soft regroup. They've continued to push forward, but with Apollo going down, they are going to be in a tough position here, especially with Coalescence and a bomb.
That was extremely close for Boobs there. You saw a shield break right before the bomb went up in the air, and he just kind of hopped around being like, I guess this is my life now. But regardless, Toonami almost gets the reback kill onto a couple of people, but now he's going to be re-engaging into this fight, and right now, the Charmeleons, they're not looking too good.
Yeah, this is looking great from the War Turtle Warlords, though, holding very strong. Quotient's a little crispy on the high ground, but there is a big pin coming through, and the follow-up from the Shatter side. Boobs just taking a lot of people out, and Tinspire finishing them off. The tanks are taking so much space here, and, well, that is going to be Charmeleons continuing to push.
Yeah, and I think that ultimately that came down to just an ultimate advantage that the Charmeleons had coming into this because, the Squirrel Squad, they used a lot of their ultimates in that last fight. Maybe a bit of an overcommit, but that just allowed the Charmeleons to have a lot in their pocket and pull out that ace when they needed it, which is exactly what we saw. And also great ult cycling. They still have 3 online as they're gonna, it looks like Squirrels want to engage. Oh, never mind. They're not gonna be able to touch it. They're gonna let them walk away for free, but Taco now is in a lot of danger and he's gonna be falling down first.
Pinspire completely blocked the High Noon. Just looked up, put the boosters on, and boom. Defense Matrix that entire ultimate. And now Charmeleons have all this room to push forward and push the cart.
Yeah, and look at all of this space that they're going to be taking. As somebody who plays Overwatch, I'm a big fan of when you've got a lot of room, hey, send your Reinhardt up in the front. Send your tanks up in there. Slow them down, because in that way you can just move that cart just a little bit more. And we see that that's exactly what these Charmeleons are going to be doing, those crafty lizards them. But now that they're coming into this is going to be hard for Squirtles. Charmeleons, they've got 3 ultimates, almost that nano boost online, but this is going to be opening up with a grab.
Oh. 2 back and forth picks on the supports. Apollo just came through with a high noon behind, and I mean, Charmeleons completely cleaning up and pushing Wartortle Warlords back. They're on that high ground, but there's not much room.
Yeah, and look at this. Now, this is just free game for the Charmeleons. They're going to be able to just get that point number 2 without another contestation. And they're still holding on to their ultimates. One thing that I really want to highlight on this team is they're very disciplined with their ult cycling, which has really made this push extremely effective.
There it is. Charmeleons continuing to aggress forward. Nothing found too much here. Just some poke damage. Ooh. The Shatter catches 2. Both tanks, to be precise. 1 going down after that. The bomb is committed, trying to put some zoning and some pressure on Charmeleons to have to back away. The pick onto Ellie could be big for Wartortle to stabilize a bit here. Taco managing to find some traction, and there's a high noon pop. Doesn't find anything that time though. Charmeleon still aggressing forward. It's a bit of a split fight, and now Taco's been caught alone. Tinspire sees that he didn't have any reinforcements, and he was trying to put those pop shots in, but it's not looking great for Wartortle Warlords. They're getting pushed back, and soon they're going to be flanked. Look at that. Apollo from behind pops from high noon. It's blocked. Tsunavi manages to catch him just in time, and Little Red punishes him for the audacity of trying to do that. But Marks, it is looking tough for Wartortle still. They gotta stabilize.
Yeah, and they're going to be extremely in a little bit of a tough spot as we see that Boots is going to be getting the nano boost. Now they've got a big old Reinhardt swinging his big old rocket hammer right in your face, which you don't want to be on the receiving end here. As once again, the Charmeleons, they're just walking this one forward. They're still in this team fight right now, but Wartortles haven't found any picks. Right now, it's all going in favor of the Charmeleons, but that Dragon Strike might even things out.
Potion took down Vanity from behind, and Little Red takes down Apollo as well. It looks like Wartortle is able to make a stand and get some crucial picks. They do have the spawn advantage. Oh, that was a very risky res, and Vicky Sydney's for it with her life. Boom takes the Shatter and takes down Rented right after that, and now he's just swinging away left and right on this point. Wartortle has those respawn advantages. They can be careful, they can come back, but it is a hard, scrappy fight for them. Taco's going so low, finally taken down. Those 2 tanks on Charmeleon doing so much work. The hammer just constantly swinging, both caught in that gravitic flux, but it's not enough as more kills are coming through from Charmeleon, and there it is, round 1 finally completed with 1:59 left on the clock.
That was something else right there, Sid, because at multiple times, it seemed like that the Charmeleon team had lost the fight, you know?
Yes.
Okay, they'd lost their support line. It's over. Then the tanks just decide, you know what? I'm gonna do it myself. And we see that Boops on that Reinhardt just swinging his hammer left and right, throwing out the fire strikes, and taking absolutely gutsy charges, but getting a maximum value out of those. If I did that in my games, I would probably get banned, but we got Boops out here just nailing it every single time. And I do think that we should have seen from the Wartortle Warlords, they should have brought out a tank to match that Reinhardt, because that was ultimately the difference maker there. They were running 2 off tanks, which still can work because Sigma does provide a little bit of cover with that shield, but unfortunately it's not enough. You saw how impactful those Earth Shatters were in just absolutely sweeping the DPS on the support line. So it's going to be really interesting. But now, Charmeleons, they're on the defense as they're going for that classic Reinhardt Zarya rush style composition, and I am here for it.
Yeah, this is a very in-your-face type of style, of course, with the Mei and the Zarya as well. A lot of reinforcements for each other, and it seems like Wartortle, trying to take a little bit more of a farther poke damage type style, a slower approach here, especially with the Orisa. It's going to take them time to move. That Ice Wall already trying to section people off and force out early. What a pin! Quotient's already gone, and what another aggressive res coming through isn't quite successful, and Wartortle Warlords can't quite make it out of their spawn yet, Marks.
It seems like they're taking a page out of LH Cloudy's book in the sense that, you know what, whenever you play this rush competition, you always hold the chokes, and you know what's a great choke? The spawn doors. Because right now, Charmeleons, they're in charge of this spawn. Finally, we're seeing more Turtles be able to push out here, with Quotient opening that up with a pick onto the Elusive Fire. So they've got a chance now.
Huge. Quotient on this Pharah could be so devastating. Gets a direct hit onto Apollo, finally taking him out. Now it's both supports trying desperately to avoid this Pharah, who is just an onslaught. Can't quite get the kill there to finish them off, but the pressure has been done. Fire goes flying their marks, and Ward Turtles are pushing the cart.
It seems like they might have found their answer, and that is Quotient on this Pharah right now, as basically the entire kill feed just lit up blue, all because of him. So I'm going to be interested, because we've got Apollo now on this Ashe to really contest him from the sky, with Taco using this little bit of a Widowmaker in the background. So let's hope that they can get like some key picks, because that's ultimately the value that you want to get out of your Widowmaker. So Quotient, though, has this barrage. Let's see how the Charmeleons want to contest this point.
Here comes the barrage. It's online, and the real question is when. There it is, thrown right from the high ground, taking down a bit of the shield. We can see that Taco on this Widowmaker has a lot of sightline to work with. The only real opposition is going to be Apollo, if Apollo can manage to dive back after he's been rezzed back. A couple of people from War Turtle have gone down. Taco's still free firing from the back. It's not going to be enough, though, because you got to have people on the point, and that is all. War Turtle's all out there. Just Taco left.
Oh, he seemed to just get picked off on the slide. But right now, it seems like they found their answer, and it is to take out Quotient first. Just because Taco, well, on that Widowmaker, it's a little bit difficult. You know, that's going to be pretty hard to find some picks. But you know what? If you can get a May Icicle in the air and actually hitting the bar, that's another excellent way to do that. But now, Squirtles, they're ready to re-engage.
Just waiting around, letting them poke and prod, move, and take their place and where they want to advance. Didn't quite hit that shot right there to get onto the high ground. Good crouch over. You saw that accretion just fly over their head right there. And now it's about breaking down the shields here. Squirtle trying to do their best, and well, pushing up the middle. There it is, Vicky popping that Valkyrie. No one sees him from behind. He misses just because she jumps down trying to get an off angle. Now he continues to push forward here. There it is, Rented Mars doing his best, and both tanks have taken the space. That's those bongos just putting in the work, and there it is, the Flux to combo it. Both tanks carrying this fight, moving forward, and that's the point capped.
You know, the Charmeleons, they did a really good job of holding on to that, but all it does take is just one big team fight loss, and then you're going to lose point number one. And now, this Squirtle Squad, they've got 3 minutes on the board, so this is suddenly looking a lot more doable here. But if we take a look at the ultimates, this next team fight could be hard. We praise Charmeleon for being really good at their ult cycling, but let's see if they can maintain that discipline as the Earth Shatter comes down on Quotient's head.
We saw Quotient trying to escape and just get dropped from behind right there. The Nano's been committed, but there are ultimates flying left and right. The grab has been thrown, grouping up members of Squirtle there, but Charmeleon just continuing to cleave forward. Poor Squirtle getting corralled and pushed back one at a time. They're stuck in this side room, and I gotta say, small room with a Ryan and Zarya is not where you want to be.
Even though this was a lost team fight, I really want to highlight Little Red here, because that Coalescence almost shut down 3 different ultimates all at the same time. That being the Earth Shatter, Nano Boost, and the grab from Zarya. So, you know, even though it didn't work out that way, it was really good thinking, and that kind of shows that Little Red knows what they're doing, especially with that Coalescence. Now, I want to see how this next fight is going to be going as we open up with the Dragon Strike.
And another kill coming through for the Squirtle Squad here, which it actually looks like, Mark, we did stick with our original names from our first team. So we're, no evolving coming through from the Pokemon yet. All the evolutions will have to happen in the game. Not enough experience.
The graph is coming out. As Inspire just cleans up the rest there. Sorry, Sid, I made you laugh a little bit too hard, but this is going to be a team fight for Charmeleon as they're just running through. Quotient, though, on this back line. He's whipping out the bow. Let's see if he can get any value. Doesn't look like it. As War Turtles, they have to regroup now.
Squirtle Squad, right?
Squirtle Squad.
No evolutions coming through.
I'm the worst.
Yeah, that's okay. You know, we, like you said, not enough experience yet. We're building it here. That was a good little chip coming through from Taco, and, you know, does give a good scare to anyone who gets clipped. An early pick onto Quotient, though. That is going to be a lot of damage off the board for Squirtle Squad. It's repaid in kind. No Hanzo is on the board, and, well, there it is, the sniper trying to take on... Oh my gosh, he missed it! He missed his drop down. They just skirted right out of the way. Too much hang time, and the dodge came through. Very nice. But, you know, Squirtle still needs to continue pushing the point. Tsunabe's in the backline here, getting harassed finally and targeted, taken down by Ellie, but not without a lot of punishment that he was able to put out on the Zen.
Now, 30 seconds left on the board. Squirtle Squad, they got to get their support ultimates online because that's going to give them the sustain, especially to face down this Bob. But you know what else is going to take you on the Bob? If you just kill Apollo before he can even pop it. So now Squirtle Squad in a great position as they recontest this final time.
4 dragons tearing through Junkertown. Nobody finds a kill off it, but kills are exchanged nonetheless. The charge, so ambitious from behind, even though the grab has put everyone on Squirtle Squad there in the point. And that's going to be it. OT bar trickles down, and it looks like the Charmanders are able to continue their aggressive hold. And, well, it's a trickle-in game now, Marks.
Yeah, we can see we still have Tsunabe on this wrecking ball right now, but with a Reinhardt swinging a hammer onto this point, there's not much you can do there. Such aggressive charges from the Charmeleon Chads. I don't know if I agree with all of them, but you know what? They looked absolutely flashy, and it made for an absolute wild ride is what we just saw there.
Yeah, you know, got a little bit of a swing and a miss on that Earth Shatter, but who hasn't missed their high ground 180 shatters here and there onto a Moira that can literally fade from your sight? A valiant effort, and obviously, you know, didn't hurt them too much in the end. And, you know, there's a lot of aggressive charges, like you mentioned. Just
Oh, yeah.
the audacity coming through is alarming. They need to turn around, get the
Yes.
blinders off,
Yep.
put the sunglasses on.
Listen, the Squirtle Squad is great because they got those coordinated dances and it's all really fun and games until you got a Reinhardt running around and using a hammer, because even though you have your little shells, it's still going to hurt. It's not going to be a good time. But Charmeleons, Chads, they just looked really, really, really good. And you can tell that they just want to play aggressive. They want to play in the opponent's face. They want to be in front of them, ready to just rock them. And right now, the Squirtle Squad, they don't have an answer for that.
No.
They're going to have to figure out how to kind of deconstruct that rush composition, because they seem a lot more comfortable playing that dive style. You know, they prefer the Winston, they prefer the Wrecking Ball, they prefer the Diva, and as well as heroes that are doing a lot more poke. And unfortunately, it's not quite working out for them just because there's a lot of creative Reinhardt plays that are coming out. And I also want to say a big hats off to the Charmeleon Zarya as well, because some of those bubbles, they weren't all on Reinhardt. They were on the support line, on the DPS, which really helped that keep them alive, just allowing them to continue to put in the damage and take down the Squirtle Squad. So great stuff coming out from the Charmeleon Chads.
Yeah. And, you know, since they were victorious in their previous match, you know, they gained enough experience to evolve once again. And now they're going to be the Charizard champs, because right now they are sitting real pretty score-wise against the Squirtle Squad. So, you know, hopefully we're going to get them rallied. They got a good pep talk coming through. My big notice of the game was actually from both divas. Their use of the defense matrix to really shut down a lot of the DPS and the high noons that were just being slung out left and right here, shut down constantly. And yeah, you know, the DM just right there in their face, managing to protect the team. I did like the switch over to Zarya from Tinspire. A lot of great work, like you mentioned, on those bubbles and just managing to keep that high charge constantly. I mean, it seemed like he was melting anyone, like he faced off against the Hanzo at one point and just melted him in a blink of an eye. So high charge after there had been a lull in the fight. I don't think he was ready.
It seems like I think what happened was like when the Squirtle squad felt comfortable with the team fight, then they kind of eased off the gas pedal. They're like, all right, now we're just cleaning things up, so it shouldn't be
Right,
too
right, right.
difficult. But that kind of just allowed the Charmeleon Chads, now the Charizard champs, the ability to turn that around and be like, actually, no, not yet, sir. How dare you ease off the gas pedal here? Because we're going full pedal to the metal and gonna run you right over. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough for the Squirtle Squad to adapt here. I have been told, I haven't tried it myself, but you can teach Hydro Pump to Squirtle if you have the appropriate TM here, because I don't think a bubble's gonna be enough if they want to dethrone the Charizard champs. So,
Yeah.
Squirtle Squad, you gotta bring your A game to this next map here. Otherwise, it's just gonna continue to be a runaway.
It's totally been just a little bit of bubble. I don't even know if it's bubble beam quite yet. Just one bubble,
Oh no.
like when yeah,
I
just
will give
one.
them Bubble Beam. I will give them Bubble Beam. They did look good in a lot of those team fights, especially
That's
early on.
true. That's true. And I mean, after seeing some of the, long range duels coming out as well, and just the carries, Apollo was able to carry on that Farah and just at least bust them out of the spawn door. That was a tough fight for them. They lost that one very quickly, reassessed, and then boom, he was there in the air once again as another big threat, forcing the Charmeleons at the time to switch over to the hit scan. They have forced Charmeleons to switch over to some form of hit scan every single round, which I mean goes to show you the projectile players, at least at the minimum, that have been showing up tonight.
Yeah, no, you raise a really good point there actually, because forcing your opponent to play a different composition than what they had initially rolled out with shows that what you are playing is really good. Unfortunately, it turns out that the Charmeleon, they're also really good at hit scan. And so right now they need to figure out what is the key to unlock them, whether or not it is to just kind of try out some wacky compositions, try those big brain strategies, catch them off guard, because I can tell you the Farah really did catch them off guard
Yeah.
initially, and then they were
Yes.
able to adapt in order to deal with that problem, and they dealt with it absolutely perfectly.
I agree with you there. And, the hit scan coming through from the Charmeleons has been very strong, like you mentioned. It looks like we are going to have Throw Zone back over on the now Charizard champs. And, well, we saw him on Alios. He got to play the game for a reason. And he
Looking
was just,
heads.
yeah, he didn't even need his high noon half the time.
Nope, there's
And
only
that's a
enough
scary
room for
McCree.
one cowboy in this Pugs thing right here. And apparently Throwzone really wants to throw his hat into the ring, pun intended.
Oh man, and it's tough competition here. All in all, LSV has some nasty hit scam players that I've seen come through, and well, I feel bad for the supports, and especially the Reinhardts that come through. There's times where they're flashbanged constantly, like when it's off cooldown. And when you're getting CC'd that often, it's not always the most fun as a main tank.
Somebody mostly plays main tank. Yeah, no, it isn't. You get the flashbang, then you get put to sleep, and then Brig hits you with the shield, and you're like, well, there goes all my life pool. So I guess that was fun.
I guess
Uh,
I'm, yeah, basically just caught, checking the time real quick.
yep.
Oh, CC's
I'll grab
done?
some water.
Do a
Take
quick
5, take
stretch
5.
in.
Yeah. Really get ready to just walk back from spawn, you know?
I mean, you have to walk back, so you have the time. You can just start
That's
your
true.
stretch early.
You're right. Well, we've queued up our next map here. So we're going to be seeing the Squirtle Squad now go up to the Evolved Charizard champs in Numbani. So let's see what they want to pull out here, especially that first point. You can get away with a lot of those like in your face types of compositions here, especially too holding that room on that top part there. But as soon as we get into point number 2, then Hitscan can really come alive. So I'm curious to see how these two teams want to engage as we're going to be loading it into Numbani as we speak.
Great to have her and, you know, have more involvement in the community. We always talk about playing games and we make all this content and it seems like sometimes people don't always have the time to play anymore. And that
Mhm.
breaks my heart when I hear about producers who can't do that. I've heard that a couple of times. And yes, I do
The-
mean our producer today here with us behind the scenes,
We just got
Samter.
a very menacing look from him as he said that. So, I think that's a one way to say that. Yeah.
I did say it breaks my heart, and so
That's
it's
true.
great to
That's
have
true.
them join, okay? And who knows? Maybe Samter will have time one day to join us in the pugs, and then we can, totally cast everything super supportive of him the whole time.
Yes, the confidence in your voice
Totally.
definitely fills me with inspiration to only bust out positive comments for the lovely productions. But we're going to be seeing now, it looks like Charizard are still opting to play a little bit more of this rush-style composition, bringing Elusive Fire out on that Zenyatta, which is going to just allow them to melt tanks such as Tanabe. So that's going to be really tough to deal with, but Jornhub on this Pharah is going to be able to just keep them at arm's reach, raining those rockets in, able to get that damage, potentially building up a barrage extremely quickly.
Yeah, and a change of pace coming through from Bjorn. We saw Bjorn on that support role. Speaking of support, it's actually Ellie who's gonna open up the kill feed with a grenade kill. Oh no. Oh, he gave him a little greeting, but I don't know if it's enough. Bjorn caught out from the side, tag teamed by the 2 DPS, and Charizard champs coming through to show why they are the champs currently. They're up 1-1, and they need to aggress forward marks. They've got a little bit of an advantage, but it's not gonna last if they don't push.
Yeah, it seems like they were waiting for their Reinhardt, but now that Rein is back in the fight, we're going to be seeing the Amplification Matrix drop out as these teams get into a brawl.
Solo going down, but Tsunavi has the Primal Rage online. He's going to be looking to get aggressive, and there he is! He just goes for it and boops everyone straight into the room, jumps right over, looking for that low Reinhardt, and just absolute slaughter, throwing everyone from Charizard around and cleaning up everyone, taking over the kill feed.
I had a conversation with some of my friends the other day asking about whether or not if a gorilla punched you, if you would die instantly. And
Yes.
after watching that, I would opt to say yes, because that was an absolute brutal showing from Tanabe in that little room right there. Excellent plays right there, and it's going to be allowing the Squirtle squad to stay alive. Just keep going.
I am in agreement with you there, and well, we'll have to see, what they can continue to bring to the table here. Squirtle Squad goes for that high ground hold, and there it is! A pick from Quotient. Badger Bee taken out, but there's the Earth Shatter. Quotient decides to protect his team, trying to get that value from the high ground, throwing those bullets and that cover fire, but he can't find the kills. Elusive Fire popping that trance, being absolutely clutch, saving her team left and right. Ozone getting aggressive as that Genji jumping around like a spider monkey, cutting the back line, and there it is. Charizard champs breaking open the defense and looking to cap this point, Marks.
Yeah, Spider Monkey with a really dangerous ninja sword. That's not something that you want to be seeing. We're going to be seeing, actually, the Diva Bomb come in and take out Tanabe. Now, they just have to deal with Untitled. We hear an Earth Shatter come offside, just making sure that the Charizards are able to finally capture this point. But, that looked like a very solid defense coming out from the Squirtle squad in what usually the Charizard champs traditionally had just run them over on.
Yeah, I agree there, and all in all, I think that Squirtle Squad really handled a lot of the pressure well. Charizard champs were forced to use their immortality field before they, were able to hard engage and get really scrappy and in your face like they're looking to. This Diva is constantly denying fire strikes to Boobs right here, and well, there is the Nanoed Monkey coming in hot. He pops the Primal Rage once again, and we've seen him be absolutely deadly on this, booping Tinspire around. Badger Bee does manage to find that high noon kill on the back end, but Toda, 28! Thank goodness he got healed up, Marks.
Oh, and Quotient actually just put on the brakes for just a second, almost get taken down, but we're going to be seeing now Ultimates just coming out for the Squirtle squad as they very quickly turn this fight around. Right now, these Squirtles, they're looking pretty good.
They look like they're finally a squad.
They've all put on their coordinated sunglasses, not blinders, and now they are coming alive. We see that these dive heroes have just been getting so much value, and I think that that's probably just because they've been able to isolate and completely just dismember the backline of them. You know, we see Throwzone continuously pelting in these shurikens here. And it's okay, well, hey, I was just about to say,
red.
not too great, but that's going to be an excellent pick as the Amplification Matrix is also in.
Yeah, Little Red got caught out as well when she was flying around with Bjorn, and, well, once you're caught, that's going to be tough. I think Squirtle Squad here is just looking to reset. It's a big ante, but no one's there to capitalize quite yet.
Yeah, finally, the Charizard, they've evolved a couple of times at this point, are able to move forwards, and now we can see them taking a little bit more space right now. We've got Badger B and Throwzone with their ultimates online. If properly positioned, it could be dangerous. Their biggest threat still is Jornhub. If they can take him out first, then this team fight is going to definitely swing in their favor.
This is a good spot for Squirtle Squad to try and hold too. The bomb comes through, it's so high up! I don't know if that was gonna be in anyone's range to clip, but unfortunately Little Red gets crushed by the mech there. It's a scrappy fight coming through, trying to stall out the point. Tuna once again on the nasty monkey, just trying to juggle people around. The pin! Boom's just coming in, taking down the support, and now we're still going back and forth, Marks. It could be anyone's fight here as the Squirtle Squad has both their Pharah, Mercy, and neither now as, well, just Mercy and her Res recently taken down. That's going to be Charizard Champs taking the second point.
What a nice Dragon Blade just to kind of seal the nail in the coffin there. We see Tuna, now he's on the Wrecking Ball. I'm curious to see whether or not he's going to continue to play this. Okay, we see the swap back to the Reinhardt. So we're going to be seeing dueling rush compositions here, but my eye is on this Pharah. With that barrage, especially in a rush comp.
What?
Throw the Fire Strike right into the air and take out the Pharah. That is definitely one way to engage. Booms right now has just been so good on this Reinhardt, but maybe needs to play just a little bit closer to this team. They also have a Coalescence online, which is just going to allow them to play aggressive when they so choose to.
Short fade right there from Elusive, but she has got that Coalescence. There it is. Bjorn takes himself out with the barrage. Not gonna be able to get the damage he's looking for there. Coalescence from Elusive now being popped here as High Noon also stacked on top of it. So much zoning coming through from the Charizard Champs as Squirtle Squad does their best to trickle on and stall out the point, but it's not enough. 118 left, and Charizard Champs caps all 3 points.
I think I'm starting to understand how Charizard Champs likes playing this, and it's kind of like it's just... I don't mean it's kind of like a free-for-all, but it does seem like that they are kind of scattered all over the place. And they're kind of, as a result, they're relying on more of that, like, spread out. Everybody can kind of contribute, and everyone is taking their 1v1 duels against respective members on the Squirtle Squad. Whereas Squirtle, they like to play a little bit more cohesive. So... yeah. Right now, I think the Squirtle Squad, they really need to capitalize on catching those few members out. I think that's why the Pharah was so impactful that last game. Because when you've got members like left, right, and center, you know, the heals can only go in one direction or the other. And if you've got a Pharah, you've got so much control of this guy. You can rain rockets wherever you want them to go. So I'm curious to see how this is going to be going now. It looks like our defenders, the Charizard Champs, are going to be continuing to play this rush-style composition here. This time with Badger B on the legs. Maybe to try and shut down anybody who might be flying around in the air.
Yeah, and we'll have to see exactly, you know, what they bring to the table. Hopefully you guys can all hear me all right. Had a quick glitch on my side. And, well, all in all, great. Excited to see what Squirtle Squad can bring. They need to have at least a little bit more in the time bank or push it all the way. But the coordination we saw previously in their defense definitely gives me a lot of hope for them on this next defensive push.
Absolutely. And on top of that too, swapping Quotient over with this classic dive composition could be extremely effective. You know, you throw in your Winston, you throw in your Diva, get a lot of their damage down, and then you can just use the focusing beam to just take people out. So, Squirtle Squad, they just need to pick their targets very carefully and work as a coordinated unit, maybe in some dance numbers as well. And this should be a pretty quick, easy team fight for them as long as they can isolate and take out some of these people. But Badger B fighting back Quotient on that Echo as the Squirtle Squad's ready to help him out.
That fire strike almost clipped Quotient in the air as well. He managed to skirt it around and does get the pick. It's still a back and forth though for the two teams. Squirrel Squad now losing Little Red. That's gonna force them to reset, Marks.
Yeah, and you can see now it's just going to be cleanup. Badger B just raining in. This soldier pick has been really good, especially too with throw zone on that McCree. There's a lot of potential to just kind of pelt in damage from far. You know, even if they are a quote-unquote diveable target, they're getting enough peel from Rented Mars to make sure that they're able to stay alive in a lot of those engagements. But now we see they're fighting in the small room, but Charizard, they got a Reinhardt.
Yeah, I'm worried about fighting in a small room with a Reinhardt. It's going to be tough for Squirtle Squad to push forward, and they need to time it well. Tinspire's got to get that Immortality Field out of the picture so they can actually have a chance at taking anyone from Charizard down on this engagement. Good push here in the back, but Badger B on the crossfire. Auto aim engaged with that ultimate, and now the D.Va Bomb just dropped right in his face. He has to retreat back so he doesn't get completely blown to smithereens, but now he's so low on the point. Good thing he's got some legs. Doesn't have enough though. The D.Va Bomb comes through. Thought it was gonna find someone, but doesn't quite. It is still Squirtle Squad finding a bit of traction here on the point, but Elusive getting that health back and able to pretty much help hold and recontest. Helping throw zone, pocketing, and now taking the fight into her own hands, just taking Navi down right there to close it out and completely shut down that fight.
You know, even though the fight at that point was won, it's always good to make sure that it is, and what better way to use a Moira's Coalescence than really just ensure that that's going to be going your way. But now, Squirtle Squad, they've got a minute 30, and they really need to work on their coordination to be able to dive here. You know, Quotient now onto this Genji. Could be deadly. The self-destruct goes out.
Early commit on the Immortality Field as well from Throw Zone, and it's not gonna, or from Tinspire, it's not gonna matter though. Throw Zone getting a couple kills. Squirtle Squad coming up though. They're getting aggressive. They know it's time to push forward, and they've got the man up advantage. They're looking good as they're trying to take this point back. Quotient deflects, nothing there as Soldier's trying to run around and heal himself, but doesn't matter because they've taken the point.
And the Squirtle Squad have finally got through point number 1 there. Badger B looked like he was trying out the latest and greatest dance moves, running around in just a circle on that top part, but eventually was going to be taken out here. So now the Squirtle Squad are in a great position to use this momentum to roll things forward, especially taking out the enemy Reinhardt to start.
Ooh. If Apollo can get topped off a bit more here as well, he can continue to help aggress forward. Now, Squirtle Squad needs to take this space. I love that Tuna popped this ultimate. He's trying to continue to be aggressive, but it's too much. Throw Zone has just been throwing out the damage, and oh, Apollo is very, very vulnerable there. Good deflect coming through, and it's successful as Quotient takes him down and out of the picture. He's been quite a nemesis against Squirtle Squad, and now Little Red is going to have a little bit easier time to just fly around. Not as much CC coming through. Now, we gotta see, Marks, is Squirtle Squad gonna be able to push it here to the last point?
It's going to be a little bit difficult, but if they keep on top of this, this might work out. There are a lot of ultimates on the side for the Charizards, but the Squirtle Squads are now getting their own. Notably, if they get this Nano online, that could be huge, but never mind.
Oh.
Quotient is going to fall down as soon as the blade comes out. We see a self-destruct on point, but there's another one. Ultimate's being popped.
Wow, and another exchange, Navi found by that self-destruct there. There was a moment where I thought Squirtle Squad was actually going to be able to come back and take that fight, but there it is. The Charizard champs just came through and literally torched everything.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier when you just decide to use flamethrower or fire blast, and you know, then there's no one can escape because everyone's on fire, and it's not a pleasant time if you are on fire. But regardless, the Squirtle Squad, they're looking pretty good. They still have a minute 30 to make this happen as Rented Mars falls extremely low.
Bit of a high ground skirmish here too. D-Mech onto Rented Mars is going to be a bit of an early advantage. High Noon is popped and he gets clipped from the side. Throw Zone falls so low and gets flashbanged. Does manage to get taken down, but it's Tinspire who gets the last call on that one. Now Tuna's trying to get aggressive and take down Legs. He's runs away just at the nick of time. Of course he does, because that is what Legs does. Again, for a second time, the Earth Shatter takes down Ellie right there. Probably a solo shatter. Didn't see anyone else in his view. And now we're at 1 minute left. Quotient manages to get a couple, but It's gonna be tough. Squirtle Squad just has these scrappy fights and these picks coming through. Now we have the visor coming out from Bjorn, and this could be it, Marks. They could take this point into the second, and that's it. They've got it, and it seems like they were able to use their, it looks like they got water gun this time, put out some of those fires. That's a lot more than Bubble Beam.
Yes, it is. A lot more than Bubble, that's for sure. But now, they've still got that Blade online, as well as a Self-Destruct and a Supercharger. You know, we talk about the Nano Blade often, but the Supercharger Blade is also an extremely effective tool, as these teams are already getting engaged into this next fight.
Oh, Quotient thought he could be a little sneaky around that back end, but instantly spotted out by Badger B. There he is, though, diving straight into the back line, looking for that deflect. Takes down the CC that he was concerned about, but Badger B has popped his attack visor and is getting kill after kill. It's easy when it's aiming for you. Quotient almost had some heals, got a little bit, but it is too much. Elusive, just absolutely decimating through anyone's shields with that Coalescence, and Squirtle Squad once again fended back just before they can cap it.
Yeah, but even though they lost that team fight, this isn't over for the Squirtle Squad just quite yet, because they still are doing okay, and they have their Ana perched up on the sidelines. I don't think that's been checked by anybody. So
Stress
elusive.
for her.
But
So
if she's
stressful.
able to get away, this could be amazing, as now the rest of the team is here, so let's see the re-engagement.
There it is, and the anti came through, but Tuna's already gone down. It looks like Squirtle Squad is missing some of that heals into their tanks. Little Red brings Tuna back. They're at full force, and they are looking to try and cap and push this to the third point. That Boobs is trying to charge up that that Earth Shatter. Can't quite get everything he needs, but it is charging. Oh, Rented Mars just took down 2, and the Mercy and Orisa at that marks. Squirtle Squad is going to have to switch to anything fast to get back and contest here at the last moment.
Oh yeah, and especially to those running picks at the end there from Throw Zone, those are absolutely going to be huge for the stall. Now, they got to get back on point. They got to touch this thing, push overtime. Apollo is able to do that as they receive the Nano.
Nice, Apollo coming in clutch here. He gets the Nano himself. Their self-destruct is online. He knows he's got to be careful with it because he's probably going to need it to remet. The DM usage just absolutely clutch coming through. So good. Blocking the flashbang, blocking the other elements, and Quotient comes up with the blade as well. He's trying to put in the work, puts him down. Badger B mid-visor, and now Squirtle Squad is trying to finish everyone off. Elusive knows that this Coalescence could make or break her team. She's trying to heal and damage at the same time, but that vulnerable state as a Moira is tough. Manages to fade just out of the nick of time, but Apollo has her number, takes her down. Now Charizard champs trying to do their best to trickle on, install this point out. Can Squirtle Squad focus fire?
Victory.
Squirtle Squad!
Oh, you hate to see it. Not like this. Not like this. Oh man, I think I missed what happened there, but I think it it was the perfect timing. Perfect timing of just both of the tanks getting pushed aside just enough time, especially with the Wrecking Ball flying around the point. That was it. You know, the Squirtle Squad looked like they had that one down, especially with a Supercharger on the field. They had just taken out Elusive, so that Moira was down. All the support was gone. And, oh, that's gotta hurt. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
man. My heart hurts after seeing that happen to
Yeah.
them. That was a really good push. They had the advantage, but, you know, big props to Charizard champs here who, really did a great job at actually just managing their own abilities to create that space, that brief moment in which they can capitalize and get that victory. Obviously Squirtle Squad probably not so happy after that. Does
Nope.
feel a little bad, but that was a much better performance from them than what we saw in our previous games. It seemed like they were really able to find people who were out of position better, but also cover for each other and take that space when they were getting that momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually wanted to mention one of the things that I was a little skeptical about was swapping from a Winston to an Orisa. Because it seemed like Squirtle Squad, that was their style. You got the dive coming in, you want to high pressure that. You got a Genji on your team. It just, all the pieces fit together. And so when I saw this initial swap onto the Orisa, I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. Suddenly you've got a little bit more of a shield person here. But
Totally.
ultimately, that Orisa swap was what allowed them to kind of contest the Reinhardt coming out from the Charizard champs, because also too the way that they were playing the Reinhardt was kind of all over the place, right? And as a
Yeah.
result, there was a lot of DPS pressure coming into the Squirtle squad. And with an Orisa as opposed to a Winston, they focused on playing a little bit more defensively than offensively. And
Yeah.
that allowed them to take off a lot of that pressure. That shield is so instrumental in reducing the amount of damage that's incoming, and just allow the Squirtle squad to take out the rest of the Charizard champs. And then all you've got left is to deal with one Reinhardt. And as we have previously mentioned, if you got enough CC in your arsenal, Reinhardt, easy peasy lemon squeezy. As long as he doesn't get any nutty charges on you, which we've seen plenty of those tonight, so let's not discount that too much.
Right.
But yeah, once again, Squirtle Squad, it seemed like they were starting to figure out their way of how they want to be able to contest Charizard champs right now, but unfortunately they're still not getting enough experience to hit that next level of evolution. The water gun wasn't strong enough to take Charizards out of the air.
Yeah, and unfortunately it should be super effective. But if your accuracy isn't there, it's not ever going to hit, and then it doesn't matter, maybe Charizard champs. Actually, Charizard champs have been running a faster comp a little bit in gen. It seems like
Absolutely.
they're able to move around, and I mean, in the actual laws of Pokemon, if their speed is high enough, yeah, they can dodge those attacks a lot better. And it seems like Charizard is able to do that considerably more. And their focus fire, right? They seem to close out fights faster as well. When
Yeah.
they've got the momentum, they completely team kill essentially Squirtle Squad every time. Whereas Squirtle Squad kills 2, maybe 3, do a soft reset, and then they've lost 1 person during the soft reset, and now they've come back with their full.
Mhm.
So, it seems like that's one of the other bigger tempo setting elements that I see coming through from these 2 teams.
Yeah, I think you also raise a good point there, because speaking of momentum, there needs to be just a massive like tip of the hat to the support line coming out from the Charizards, just because for that level of aggression, you just got to be pumping out that healing, and you
Oh,
got to
yeah.
pump that. You just like, hey, remember like when we're just sitting here casually clicking, like, putting a
No, no.
little healing there, putting a little damage there. No, this is like full fledged. Like, you got to keep your tanks alive, and it is probably a little bit stressful, but really,
Yeah.
that's what has allowed them to continue to play that aggressive level and not get as punished for it. Obviously, we did see them get punished a little bit more on that last map, but their healers are doing a great job of keeping everyone alive.
Totally. And, on those Annas, there's no way she can stay scoped in the whole time shooting that slowly. That is some either unscoped or quick scoping coming through, because the amount of heals you need to output sometimes. So, in another video game, Borderlands, there's a
Mhm.
gun brand that's called Jacobs, and the way it works is fire as fast as you can pull the trigger. And, I can pull the trigger pretty fast, especially on a video game.
Yep, 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 yep.
And wow, I wish Anna's gun did that sometimes, because, I play support as well myself,
Oh.
and oh, those Reinhardts charging in, the Divas charging, even in their DMing, charging in at low health. You're charging in at low health.
Yep,
I
yep, yep.
literally cannot fire more bullets than what I've been restricted to heal you. And I would love to throw my grenade at you, but I might have already thrown it to save you the first time.
Mhm. Pretty much.
So, it's a stressful time for those supports. And, I wonder how they feel about those crazy off angles coming through from those Reinhardt. Just like, what are you doing over there? I can't heal you. I can't heal you. I can't save. I'm not going to worry about saving you. It's fine.
Sid, we talked about this. We said leave it for Overwatch ranked games. We don't bring
That's
that
right.
energy into the casts here. Take a deep breath. Everything is going to be okay.
We're having
We're nice and
fun.
zen. We're nice and collected.
I'm not
But no,
playing.
I do think that elusive swap onto the Moira really helped with that flexibility, because when you talk about the Ana, yeah, of course you need to like get that heals out where the grenades, all of that type of stuff as quickly as you can. But Moira is really excellent at just getting that burst healing done,
Yeah.
especially too when you've got a lot of people kind of grouped up. And she can also serve as a DPS. Sorry, Reddit, you're gonna come after me for that one. But regardless, like that's how Moira also generates a lot of that healing potential as well. And so
Hmm.
if the ball gets rolling, the ball can continue rolling, especially with a Moira, and that's kind of why you want to play Moira, to get that ball just flying forwards, get the death ball rolling, and it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Well, and she utilized that fade really, really well. There was a lot of
Absolutely.
times I thought she was gonna be toast, getting chased by the Winston, like just peppered down from the soldier, you name it. And even when she was in that vulnerable state in the coalescence, manages to skirt around and then just at the last minute fade away to where she needs and be, safe enough to get that what is it, biotic grasp coming in and re-heal herself.
The
Um
purple one.
Right? Well, she also held down the fort at the
That's true. That's true.
defensively on the first point. It was her and McCree,
Yeah.
and she committed the coalescence at the end, which probably was a little over aggressive, but
It's
you
the
know,
style points.
well, as someone who's also, like I said, a support player, sometimes when you are in that zone of like, it's just me and the DPS, I got to make sure he's pocketed and keep myself alive. You just make sure you win the fight without worrying if anyone else is actually going to be there to help you. Because you know what it's, you supports out there know sometimes it's just you in this cold, big world looking out for yourself. But these guys here at LSV all know each other, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
probably makes it a little easier for them to guess some of the crazier things coming up as well.
Yes.
Obviously, it's a bit of a taste for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And actually, because the Charizard team just won that battle, even though Charizard is the final evolution, are you aware in the most
Is it?
current generations of Pokemon, you can do this crazy thing, which I can't even remember what it's called anymore. But regardless, we've got now the Mega Charizard squad on here. Even if
Yes.
you've played Smash, you've seen this Mega Charizard come out, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
The blue
I
one,
mean,
especially.
I play some Pokemon Go myself here on the side. Yes, I want to catch them all, but the Gigantamax Charizard that comes through, I'm just like, wow, that's a Pokemon, and that's one I need to catch too. Actually, it's still on my to catch list, Pokedex wise. Ah, yeah, that's gonna take time, but we are going to Route 66, right? So I'm gonna put my Panorama Diner hat on. Okay. Oh, just kidding. Guess you can't see it yet. Shout out to our producer, though. Hey, we talked about him earlier. He's gonna join us for Pugs one day, because, like we said, unfortunately, producers don't get to play the game.
Not at all.
Attacks
But
incoming in 30
oh,
seconds.
we're now on Route 66 here. On Route 66, we do see we a lot more double shield played traditionally on these maps. However, both of these teams have shown a little bit of not a preference towards that. They like to play the rush. They like to play the dive. So I expect to see some more of this. We are being teased here with a Roadhog coming out here, and I've seen Roadhog do magical things on Route 66. So let's see how this goes as Mega Charizard is going to be rolling out here.
Yeah, and this time Throw Zone is over on the Squirtle squad. Last time he got a card for 55% participation. He's going to be one to keep an eye on at some point. We've talked about him. The hook's missed by Taco, though. A little bit of a blind hook over onto the gas station. Can't quite pick any of those skinny ladies who are sitting on top, just putting pot shots into the Mega Charizard champs. Right now, Squirtle Squad trying to hold their ground. Team Spire's got this off angle. The hook comes through onto their Diva, and it's Throw Zone finally getting a pick, but Not sure it's gonna mean much. Young Guns brought back, and Charizards are back at full force with Squirtle Squad continuing to fall, Marks.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Squirtle Squad right now as we just see Mega Charizard roll in and clean up the rest of them there. And look at the amount of ultimate charge that the DPS were able to get from that just one engagement. When you compare that to what Squirtle Squad is at right now, Mega Charizard, they're going to be getting their ultimates online a lot quicker, and it's going to be punishing. I'm curious to see how Squirtle Squad wants to recontest this final point to prevent... Are they even going to be able to recontest it at this point? Okay, there we go. We got a Reinhardt on point.
There's the Amp Matrix coming through as well. They're going to try to make some magic happen, but you said it. Roadhog, Route 66, it's working like a dream, Marks.
Once again, taken out mid-hook though. That's okay. Hey, Taco happens to the best of us. Don't sweat it, bud. Unfortunately, is punished for that. But look at Mega Charizard. They've got so much time in the time bank here. And with the Resurrection coming online, Batterbee's kind of getting a little bit aggressive with it. Has Tuna to support here, as that's a lot more space created, and they should be able to capitalize on this, rolling the cart forward. Now, if I'm Squirtle Squad, I need to be relying on Jornhub's Nano Boost, preferably onto that Reinhardt, but if Taco takes out Apollo, then that's going to slow down a lot of momentum. Renton Bars, it's going to be a lot of pressure on him to perform during this final fight, but Taco is in the flank. He gets punished for it, though, as the team fight pops off.
What a hook, and I'm not sure what he does to aim for those hooks or how he times them. A little bit all over the place for me personally, but dang, he has been bringing a lot of value on this Roadhog. Looks a little rough for Charizard for a moment. What? Vicky able to move out of there and just skirt right out away from underneath Squirtle Squad there. Great place coming through. Badger Bees 34, 20, 13, 5. Oh my gosh. This guy needs some heals as Charizard Champs having to back off. Young Gun joining him at 5 health right there for a brief moment. Jeez, Marks. Once again, these supports are getting stressed out of their minds to try to keep the members of the DPS alive. And Team Bomb comes through, doesn't find anything, but we'll have to see if Charizard Champs can continue to aggress forward. The loss of Taco could be bad though, Marks, and now Throw Zone to follow suit. It's a back and forth. The commitment from Elusive onto that trance is going to keep everyone from Charizard topped off, and that's what they needed to get those kills.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see whether or not Badger is going to be using their grab here, because they're in a pretty good position here, but that looks like they're opting to save it. A lot of damage still coming in onto Charizard, but they're able to just back off and regroup and heal up all of those burning wounds. No 5 HP this time. As Squirtle Squad, they finally stabilized and are able to get a little bit of a better positioning on this cart. Young Gun, though, coming in with this Pulse Bomb, looking for one of the healers as the grab is committed, and it's going to find 3.
I'm stuck in a grab and my feet aren't on the ground. Definitely a stressful position to be in. Squirtle Squad coming in hot though. I mean, once again, Reinhardt in a small room. Not a combination you want to be up against, and Squirtle Squad coming out on top. The whole hog though does manage to take down Boobs in response. Taco does pay for it with his life because that's when you're most vulnerable, and Squirtle Squad getting their footing.
Yeah, and now look at this. We have Throw Zone on this McCree, just making sure that they're pushing them back from the high ground. As Charizard, they have to kind of spread themselves out here. Now they have a Wrecking Ball in the form of Taco, so that's going to allow for a lot more mobility, especially pressuring down Apollo. Apollo falls extremely low, but is able to escape there. So good pressure already being committed, but Young Gun, let's see what they can do here as the Nano Rhyme comes into the battle.
On the low ground though, does get knocked off. Short charge over to try to find Elusive there, and she's been antied. Once again, a clutch fade, but that's Sleep thrown there. You're not getting away at all. Oh, you got away!
Got away.
What?
You jinxed it. You jinxed it.
I'm so sorry, Caster Cursing there on that front, but that was nutty. I can't believe that got away. Squirtle Squad still getting the kills, Marks.
Yeah, Squirtle Squad, they're holding their ground against the Mega Charizards right now. Even though there are a couple of sticky situations that they're finding themselves in, they're just able to squeeze out of them. You know, Squirtle's known to be quick on the battlefield, especially in Super Smash Bros. So maybe some of that is coming into play here. They're keeping it nice and slippery, and they're worming their way out. Now, they've got a Deadeye, Shatter, and the Amplification Matrix on here. I expect to see the Amplification Matrix come out to try and stall out Mega Charizards even more, as they've only got 1 more minute, but okay, this trade's going back and forth.
That trade is huge. Throw zone! Oh my gosh! This is why he got 55% kill participation card last game. He's just lighting up the kill feed and utilizing that amplification matrix beautifully. Just charging some shield here. Oh, that is going to be so discouraging to push in. You just got fire struck very badly, and now Taco antied, that can't get healed, does get taken down, and Charizards are down a tank for this last push coming up. They're in last fight territory with 20 seconds left on the clock. Shatter comes through, finding both supports for Squirtle Squad, or for Charizard. Squirtle Squad continuing to aggress forward, and once again, Rented Mars following up on that Shatter, taking down both supports. It's just Squirtle Squad's remainder of their team to continue to fight this fight against Charizard champs. Throzone's got the high noon, and it is looking good as they continue to take down members of Charizard champs that are trickling in. Elusive on the Coalescence is highly focused because that could take you down in a heartbeat, but Taco just absolutely stalling this point out like nobody's business, skirting around. He's using the mines to dance and avoid the damage, but finally taken down. Last couple of jumps coming through. Oh, geez, I can't believe he managed to touch that, but it is going to be Squirtle Squad holding strong here just a bit before the second checkpoint.
Score 0-1.
Oh man, Marks, that was a little bit of a crazy round coming through from Squirtle Squad. A much better defense.
Initiating.
An absolute great defense there. We saw that they were trying to do anything that they could to try and break through. The Mega Charizards were trying to break through there, but
Right.
once again, Squirtle Squad has been very good at finding opening picks before the battle even begins. You know, we saw immediately right off the bat, oh, there goes your monkey. And
Yeah.
as the main tank, that's extremely important. Forcing, Forcing Mega Charizard into some strange positions because suddenly they have to push in without their main tank. And that's not a good time. No matter which way you look at it, it's not going to be great. So Squirtle Squad, they've got a very clear win condition established. They just have to push it to just past checkpoint number 1. If they make it to checkpoint number 2, then they're going to be finally getting enough experience to hit that next tier War Turtle level of combat here.
Ooh. Right, get a little, let's actually get the experience to evolve and grow. We don't want to stay stuck in our, classic form the whole time. Got to get those beefier stats. Charizard champs, though, have been moving very quickly. They're on the Symmetra instead, so totally going to be a different approach that Squirtle Squad needs to take, and I don't know if they're going to be ready for all those turrets.
Yeah, the turrets, you know what's annoying about the turrets? They slow people down, especially too if you're one of the tanks. That could be absolutely deadly, but we see Throzone just going in there, getting the first pick onto Elusive just to open up this fight.
Man, and Elusive was all by her lonesome on the gas station. It's not going to matter. Everyone's getting picked left and right. Throzone is just a force to be reckoned with on this Doomfist, absolutely throwing himself against everyone coming up.
Yeah, and that really worked out. We see a couple of swaps coming in here, but now they're able to clean up the turrets as Tinspire just goes in against the Sim. Sim falling extremely low. Young Gun trying to get away, but that's going to be taken out by Tinspire. Great work from the Squirtle Squad as they're just rolling this one forward, looking very confident on this attack as well as on their defense. Let's see how this goes.
Baby Boobs on the top, on the gas station, and crushed against the wall. Now, though, Badger B, all by him lonesome on the point, taken out very, very quickly. And poor Elusive. Throzone has got her number this match, and she has been targeted left and right, and everyone is getting just absolutely demolished by Throzone around.
You know, when you bring a Doomfist to a fight, there's two things you really want to achieve. The first one, obviously getting picks, but the second one is to just really confuse the enemy team, specifically the backline. And right now, that's exactly what we're seeing Throzone do. Throzone is throwing the backline into the zone of pain as they're consistently being flung against the wall or thrown up into the air and taken out immediately. So they're going to have to figure out a way to deal with that Doomfist from the Squirtle Squad. Otherwise, this is just going to continue to be punishment.
We see, Squirtle Squad continuing to roll up that golden box of victory, quickly approaching. Self-destruct, opening up the fight! It caught Bjorn on this side! I don't think anyone was ready for that, and looks like Squirtle Squad's gonna go ahead and, well, actually I thought they were gonna reset, but Apollo has decided we're gonna clutch it out. Apollo and Throwzone just putting in all the work. Tinspire's joining the kill feed up top, and Squirtle Squad just trying to take it here at the end. The Death Blossom does manage to take down Tinspire, but is it gonna be enough? He's so low. Badger Bee gets antied on top of it, does manage to throw that Earth Shatter, but Squirtle Squad still holding strong. Bjorn's back in the fight and keeping everyone topped off. I don't know if Charizard champs can recontest, Marks.
Yeah, right now they're going to be hard pressed for it. They do have a Torbjorn now to just add a little bit more sustain, but now they got to come out here as the Nano is invested onto Taco, but Apollo just coming alive with us. Oh, the Moira picks are powerful.
Wow, absolutely crushing it there with that damage orb, and well, Squirtle Squad getting the first win under their belt for the evening. Woo! On the board.
Oh wait, that's the wrong game. Damn it. Oh, let's just pretend I didn't do anything there.
Yeah.
Nope. Is that the right one?
No, that's the Final Fantasy one.
I thought that sounded like Final Fantasy. We'll figure it out one day. We're old. Regardless, congratulations to Squirtle Squad finally getting their first victory of the night here. But
yeah.
Watching Throwzone on that Doomfist reminded me of the Caped Crusader Batman. And okay, just hear me out here for a second, okay? It's very quick to dismiss me. But he was flying across that top line, jumping from building to building, punching people left and right, and just taking them out of the fight. And then just dropping down on top of people using the Doomfist ultimate to just absolutely punish, I guess, the Lawbreakers, except in this case, it happened to be the Mega Charizard. Throwzone really comfortable on that Doomfist, and that was honestly just kind of a pleasure to watch him do.
Yeah, I mean, that Seismic Slam, typically a move you see coming through from a Charizard, actually coming through from Squirtle off of Throwzone, who, by the way, I saw the cards flashed up. Not sure if you caught what his particularly was. So the last map before this one, he had 55% kill participation, and this time he has 73. Wow. Way to up your, you just keep setting the bar higher and higher for yourself, Throwzone. What are you gonna do next round? And how can you continue to just raise this bar of kill participation that you're bringing to the table? Obviously, he's a big player in these pugs, and honestly, he is on a point tonight, Marks.
Absolutely. To put this in context, for all of the maps that we have seen Throwzone play, every single time he was on a team, they have won.
That is true. Yeah.
Probably a reason why. Not necessarily to cite purely DPS difference, but Throwzone is definitely a huge factor, especially we see a lot of situations where maybe the full team isn't back yet. It's kind of a precarious, maybe it's a 3v4 or 5, but when Throwzone's in the mix, then, he's just like, let's just even this out right now. And suddenly the fight becomes a lot more winnable, and usually Throwzone's team is able to just come through and sweep up. So huge impact player and really making a difference every single time they're on that DPS pick.
Yeah, but not to cut anyone else short who's been going up against Throwzone. Throwzone has been forced to switch the majority of time as well in response to some of the other aerial assaults and threats.
Yep.
Obviously, we saw those Pharahs just come through and absolutely tear projectile-wise and bust open the doors. So he's had to respond, but having him respond onto DPS is still a rough time for anyone engaging there. And
the other team is just kind of like, can he just play support? That'd be great. Yeah, just put him on the
off roll.
yeah, just get him on the Lucio. Yeah, there you go.
It's pugs, right? We need to mix up our roles. And,
exactly. We're here for fun.
Yeah. Well, he was a hard targeting elusive, and elusive. Every Ana and every Zen has been hard targeted by a Doomfist before, and if you're an Ana, you really only have one true shot at escaping and living, and that's hitting your sleep. You can extend your potential by hitting your grenade on yourself. Hopefully, you get both of you, and he's anti to discourage him from continuing. But if you miss your sleep, you're done. There's no hope that you can continue to counter him unless he manages to miss you, right? But as a Zen, you have to have already charged your right click if you're gonna live. You have
It's
it's one of those things where you have to have and your anticipation has to be off the charts to know he's about to dive you, similar to when a diva eats a grav. You actually have to have your defense matrix already up before you can even eat the grav. And well, that's the type
it's
of tracking we see in some of those really high tiers too.
Of course, of course. There's always a lot of like, you can talk about the mental game of Overwatch being like, oh,
Ooh.
I can feel that Doomfist coming. Let me prepare all of my weaponry and get ready for go. But at the same time, there are ways to kind of mitigate the effect of a Doomfist, whether or not that is like a Zarya. If you
Mhm.
have a Mei, that is also a really good way to slow things down literally. And also too, one and only, Brigitte is an excellent counter to slowing down that momentum, just protecting that
Of
your main
course.
healer.
Yeah.
And so I would have liked to see a little bit more adaptation to kind of shut that down because,
Mhm.
like you said, once you're up in the air, you might as well take five and just go, check your phone, check Twitter, see what's going on
Yeah.
because that Doomfist, if they play Overwatch well and know how to play Doomfist, it's almost a guaranteed kill onto you. But we're going to be
It is.
watching now. We've got the War Turtle Warlords
Woo!
finally evolved up against the Mega Charizards, and now they're going to be taking each other to Lijiang Tower.
All right. Last map of the evening, of course, closing it out on the lovely control. Lijiang is actually my favorite map to play. I don't know if it's my favorite map to cast. I'm still kind of working on that one. But I enjoy playing on Lijiang particularly. I love all the different walls that you can work around. Uh,
Oh, what do we do now? So let's see how these two teams want to be going up against each other on this 2CP map.
Yeah, Junkrat's also a big favorite here on this particular map. Getting in that white room, being set up, and of course, just free firing your primary. I'm sure we've all learned the hard way to try and avoid that garbage coming through. But we'll have to see what they bring to the table. Fast rollout so far.
We see Rented Mars. He's going to be opting to use those rat tactics as he is going to be on this Junkrat here. Interestingly, we see War Turtle. They're not choosing to bring either Sim or Junkrat here. Opting to have Tuna on this Wrecking Ball as the Torbjorn turret is just going to be blanking in a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah, and well, the Mega Charizards here continuing to get to the point and hold strong. They're putting out the damage and got some mixed up team comps. We do have a Junkrat actually on Charizard, but it's not looking like it's enough damage. War Turtle Warlords getting the traction, have a couple kills under their belt. They have lost their own Hammond in response, but both Hammonds are going to return quickly. It's about who can really take the point. It has been unlocked, but no one has capped it. A big shatter from way high in the air. Wow, so much hang time coming through. Was booped around behind the pillar, so Charizard Champ's able to dodge that. The hack finally successful coming through on two boobs. Can they take him down after that? Apollo's Fire Strike though is the one that clips Young Gun, and they are on the aggressive pushing back Charizard Champs.
Yeah, and what great coordination coming out from War Turtle Warlords there. A little unfortunate for the Mega Charizards because it looked like they were kind of in control of things for a little bit, but
Yeah.
the War Turtles just kind of turned it around on them. And now Rented Mars has this Riptire. If they can hit the support line, especially Elusive, that could be huge because right now these Discords are plinking in a lot of damage as, War Turtle, they've just been kind of in trouble from these Discords. I mean, sorry, Mega Charizard has been in trouble from these Discords just being melted away.
There's a shatter coming through, catches a couple people, and of course the follow-up is there onto his own. He's got the pin, takes him down, and the other members of War Turtle Warlords continuing to put the damage into the Charizard Champs.
Rented Mars, he was just trying to do his own thing in the little bit of a corner there, but unfortunately got scoped out by Tunam. And, well, you can't do much, especially when you're in that little precarious of a situation. So now Mega Charizard, they got a lot of their ultimates online, but the War Turtle Warlords aren't too far behind. So let's see who pops their ults first and how they're going to cycle them to really make this fight win.
This Riptire could destroy War Turtle Warlords, and we have all been destroyed by a Riptire. They're all grouped up in the grab, and he decides to run away from it. The tire's destroyed! Tuna used both bubbles, took it down, throws their own grab in response, and look at everyone! Charizard champs just absolutely grouped up. They commit the sound barrier to try to keep themselves alive in this fight after throwing the Molten Core, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. The hack comes through, catching 3 people, and now War Turtle is trying to capitalize on that. And Anti is nasty, and and Apollo does go down after that, but Charizard champs trying to continue to aggress forward. This is it. This is what we've seen before. They lost a couple people, and then suddenly they're able to turn the fight in their favor, Marks, and they've capped it.
Man, excellent hold by the War Turtle Warlords, but it seemed like everything just kind of went wrong for them on that last team fight, committing a lot of the ultimates and not really getting too much value out of them. Meanwhile, Mega Charizard, hey, starting off with Badger B, finding Taco, that's a great way to do this, as it looks like they're going to be opting to hold them at the doors here. It's going to be really difficult now for the War Turtle Warlords to push through here, as, okay, there goes the Sombra, I guess. Just going for the hard reset or something along those lines. But now they're going to be aggressing forwards.
Yeah, aggressive with the grab as well. Throwzone goes ahead, but is responded with a shatter from War Turtle Warlords. It's not enough though. The follow-up from Charizard Champs is there, and Apollo was slept instantly after that shot.
Taking the
We
objective.
see there is a Sombra on point now, so the back cap is going to be coming through, as Young Gun is just going to come back here to contest it. And, you know, get a little bit of appeal. Uh-oh, that's not a very good teleport. It unfortunately bounced off the middle pillar there, and now they have to commit the Nano onto the Reinhardt to run into this spec.
And he's been antied on top of it, needs to wait that out a bit. Sugar's got the high noon, and we know what high noon on the high ground means. He's gonna be looking for damage, but that sleep just saved their tank's life. Looking for the high noon now. There it is. Rented Mars out of the picture just before they have Riptire as well. That could be absolutely massive for War Turtle Warlords. They continue to aggress forward here, but that turret is on the point, putting in the pepper damage. Apollo goes down as he charges way into the backline of Charizard Champs, leaving everyone to get caught in this grab here. They've got no shield, and they just got melted, Marks.
Yeah, hate to see it. Apollo unfortunately got charged away a little bit too much, and then as a result left his team hanging, which just allowed Throwzone to just walk in there and get the job done. We can even see Throwzone on the Zarya has still been a menace, as Mega Charizard, they're getting it up there, and no one can touch from War Turtle Warlords. So they're gonna get their first, Mega Charizard's gonna get their first round on the board.
Score.
I know we changed this up team-wise during Pugs from map to map, but you mentioned this in our second map earlier in the evening about Squirtle Squad, you know, not able to quite close out those fights, and you know, losing that last little person, and Charizard Champs really cleaning up and having that coordinated and tactical gameplay. And that was what we just saw. 90 to 100%. War Turtle Warlords just barely weren't clean and crisp enough.
Yeah, and doubly so when the remaining player is Throwzone. That's kind of what I've been noticing. Throwzone is always one of the last remaining members, and like we've talked about, that can completely just turn a team fight around. As now we do see a Symmetra coming out from Charizards here, as they're going to be, both teams are going to be playing the rush, and Apollo gets immediately Rhine diffed by Boobs.
Pinned right there, and hacked! He's paid for it with his life. He was so aggressive coming through, but War Turtle Warlords getting the picks. They're gonna have to push on to the point where the Symmetra is already set up, so gonna be tougher for them, and gonna have to make sure that they remove all the turrets. It is turret city for Charizard Champs right now. Mega Charizard.
Mega Charizards, and this is so difficult to move into. Look at what a stronghold Mega Charizard has on this point. Those Sim turrets are going to do a lot of work, and if I was a War Turtle Warlords, you know, I'd be trying to build up the EMP as quickly as possible, because that's going to be the win condition right now. Starting off by getting a pick on the throw zone is a good start, but right now you're in your spawn. They got to capitalize on this momentum now.
Huna is really high charge, and with the hacks coming through successfully, they are able to get those picks into the people of Mega Charizards, who had overstepped a bit. It's still a lot of turrets on the point, though, and a lot of damage that's going to be really coming from people who aren't actually the characters on the team. It's from their resources, and that is tough for Apollo to push in. He's at 99% on this Earth Shatter, so it's going to be about what value can he get from it. The pin comes through, and he's going for it onto the Nano Rhine. He gets left himself and crushed in response. Charizard champs now have thrown their own grab and shatter to follow up. They're just cleaned him off the point.
Yeah, Apollo went for the charge. Unfortunately, probably got the worst target there. Namely, a Nano Reinhardt also being pocketed by an Ana. And at that point, it's going to be a tough time. And you can see just how quickly he got melted there. Now, Apollo trying to get some vengeance here. Pressuring down moves, but now he's going to be in a little bit of a trickier situation. The symmetric turrets have been set up a lot closer to the spawn doors as they start moving forward.
Yeah, and right now Charizard Champ's holding so far forward against Wartortle Warlords. That wall wasn't enough to keep Rented Mars alive, but can her team utilize it more? It looks like it's going to be Wartortle Warlords getting some traction finally on this push. Sugar and Sombra just popping off right there. Victory getting some kills, and they're going to be able to cap the point in their favor.
It turns out it wasn't sugar and spice and everything nice. They just needed the sugar, and that was good enough because sugar really coming in clutch for the team on the Soldier 76 pick, finding a lot of picks and just allowing Wartortles to move onto the point and capture it. But this is still not looking good. Mega Charizard just need one good team fight, and that's going to be it. They're going to win this map out.
Yeah. It's 99, and they're going to be able to TP straight onto the point. Boots is looking to charge that Earth Shatter here, but does get taken down early. He was so low and aggressive on that charge. Victory looking good here as she continues to try to hack, but does manage to just get one. Throw zone just absolutely charged up on this Zarya. Please turn around. He's melting everyone in their back, and no one's paying attention to him as he continues to take down another person. This guy participates in so many kills and just continues to get the damage and the work done. Gets slammed, solo shattered, doesn't matter. It's OT trickling down, and the Mega Charizard champs showing why they are truly the Mega Charizard champs.
Throw zone diff, man. I don't know what to say.
Look at him playing the game. This is how many times has he gotten play of the game? At least 2.
Okay, well, hang on. Let's break that down really fast because essentially what should have been a one team fight for the Wartortles, you know, they had Mega Charizards on the run. Look at that. The throw zone. 30 high energy kills and 31 eliminations. That's kind of ridiculous on a 2 CP map, especially too if you're not playing a DPS character there. But you know, throw zone just once again, you know, we talked about how dangerous things could be, especially too when you leave throw zone back on the field, and that is exactly why. We saw that right there on that final point. That was a very clear fight win for the Wartortle Warlords, but then they left throw zone alive, and suddenly they lost 3 members of their team while they were trying to back off, and next thing you know, that was more than enough time for the rest of them to come out here.
Yeah. Well, you know, man, you gotta put down throw zone. If you're gonna also when tonight, he is on fire tonight. I've seen him come through some of the pugs before, but this is his most dominating performance that I have ever seen. And honestly, I think that if people can recognize that he is someone who is going to be, you know, a big threat on the team, uh, then maybe they can break down some of that defense or offense that's coming through, but he's a big thorn in their side.
All
We're
right, well,
gonna go ahead.
oh, thank you. So polite. We are going to be going to our next map here. We're going to be seeing, well, actually, the Mega Charizards. They've grown too big for their own thing, and you know what? They've become incredibly buff Bidoofs. I guess that's how that Pokemon thing works. If you ask literally anybody, I'm sure they'll tell you that's how evolutions naturally work. However, Once again, watch out. Throw Zone is on the buff Bidoof squad.
Oh,
Is that even appropriate? I'm gonna say the buff Bidoof squad. I feel like that's
that's it.
appropriate here.
I mean, they're gonna be hella swole, bro, in words of the West Coasters over here. But obviously, this is the Houston Outlaws, so I gotta bring a little bit of spice in.
Absolutely.
Buff
Absolutely.
P-Doops. Oh man, we're
A
gonna get
terrifying
tongue-tied
thought.
here for the next cast too. Just be ready, everybody. Join us on that journey.
I think journey is a very accurate way of saying it. I do say so myself. Yeah, this is a
Yes.
journey. I'm on board for that, Sid.
Oh man. I mean, with all these Pokemon and the way that they've been evolving, isn't that what it is? Isn't I'm pretty sure there's Pokemon Journey currently out, if that's the most recent gen name. Is that right?
I mean, Sun and Moon. No, wait, no, it wasn't.
No. I'm talking about the series, not the game.
Oh, the series. You might be right. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I'm talking
I
about the
don't
actual show
watch
that
the anime anymore.
neither of us have probably watched in quite a while. We were
No, but we
talking
do have our
before.
producer who's going to be able to let us know. That's right. We're getting live research
Oh,
done as we speak. This is the level of quality content that we are bringing for you tonight on whether or not the most recent anime series is Pokemon Journey. And word is Pokemon Journey, not a thing. Sorry, Sid.
it
Wait.
is.
Oh, okay. You know what?
There you
You're
have
you're
it.
better for it. You're better for it. What can I say? I've got no
You
retort.
know, I don't know if it's better. We were chatting earlier when you were streaming playing main tank and just
Yeah.
cleaving through on your Reinhardt. Uh, your fun fact is that you memorized the Pokemon rap back in the day, which I gotta say, I think that's way cooler. I learned the song, everyone knows the intro song. I'm not diehard enough to actually know the second verse that's never sung, unfortunately, but that rap wasn't the easiest to know, especially once they start their breakdown, dude, so total
It does
props.
speed up. It does speed up. And you
Yeah.
know what? I'm about to hit you with an even more fun fact that I have buried enough of this evidence, so we don't have to worry too much about this. But I did, in fact, in high school, make a pop punk cover of the original Pokemon theme song, upon which I
Oh,
sang it. So that is definitely a thing that I would like to forget. But hey, we don't have to talk about that anymore because we've decided what our next map is going to be, and we're going to be seeing the War Turtle Warlords come up against the Buff Bidoofs on Eichenwalde.
actually, I do wanna drop back to our remake of the Pokemon song topic real
Oh
quick,
no!
okay? But you're gonna love this, okay? Because actually, it's not about your remake. This is I forget who it is, but he made a, like, metal rock version of the Pokemon remake song, right? And he's known for doing this. It's his whole YouTube content bit. And he actually got the original Pokemon
I
singer
saw that.
to showcase in his video, and the when he's wearing his outfit, he's got a tie that's got a wire in it to make it look like it's constantly blowing in hero wind. So he's like, "Oh, it's
I
so
love
true," in, like, Majestic Mountain, and it's just, like, this wire hanging out with his tie. It's so great. Yeah, constantly in hero wind, and you're
At that point, why didn't
ah.
you just get a big fan?
Well, I mean, this is like a remote shoot, this guy does his
Oh,
own
okay.
YouTube.
These two teams go up against each other in what will be our final map of the night.
That's right, we've got the Buff Doofs
Attackers
over on
incoming
red
in
now
30 seconds.
against our War Turtle Warlords. So we'll see if War Turtle Warlords can continue to, fight back a bit here. We saw some good performance on a couple maps ago, but Throw Zone is on Charizard champs again, and well, Throw Zone is
They put him
so
on
hot
support.
right now.
They put him on support.
That's true. I mean, he's on BAP. Does that even count, Marks?
He does.
Yeah.
He basically
No.
has a triple shotgun. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Battle rifle. That's the similarity
what
I've
it's
heard it
called.
acclaimed to. Opening pin from Apollo. Just already putting War Turtle Warlords on the defensive, having to skirt back away from this aggression. He doesn't even care. He's just cleaving forward. Badger B does manage to take down Throw Zone, but with the exchange of two Na'Vi, it's going to be tough for them to continue holding this point. Sugar getting bloodthirsty. The Immortality Field has been committed, but it's not going to matter because the buff Bidoof have been pushed back a bit for now.
Yeah, and the buff Bidoofs, they really were trying to capitalize on that forward momentum and catching the War Turtle Warlords off guard. Oh, Throwzone getting Badger, though, is going to allow now the buff Bidoofs to have a little bit more momentum because they don't have so far in the sky. And look at them roll forwards here, Sid.
I mean, Throwzone is frontlining on the bridge, just peppering people to a bone here on War Turtle Warlords. And now Charizard Champ's just holding strong, capping the point very fast, and 254 is about to be increased as it unlocks.
Yeah, Throwzone really just putting the enemy into the pain zone. Maybe that should be the next IGN that he uses because it's looking like it's pretty effective. But we see a huge Earth Shatter coming paired with the barrage, and it's just doing so much work.
Yeah, Throwzone, I mean, he does nothing of his namesake at all. The farthest thing from throwing possible, to be honest, just carrying a bit of the danger zone for a lot of other people. And that grab, so dangerous right there. Everyone from War Turtle caught in it and, well, cleaved away.
Yeah, and once again, this is looking like momentum coming out of the buff Bidoofs. Throwzone just kind of doing it himself, kind of allowing that third DPS role to exist, just really looking to victory for life to conquer most of the main healing on this Mercy here. But look at how much space buff Bidoofs have taken. They're all the way up at point number 2 in this little choke here as the Earth Shatter comes down. And it's huge.
4 people caught in the Earth Shatter. The trans from Sugar is going to be really clutch, saving everyone who was caught in that. They throw their grab, grouping up the members of Bidoof here, but no one can go down. They've got a lot of their resources expended, including a couple of the bubbles. We're keeping that turret alive, but it goes down. Victory is trying to keep everyone pocketed, and the Valk has just run out. We'll have to see if War Turtle can hold strong. And a high noon from the back line takes down Boobs. Young Gun's going to continue pushing forward, but no one's on the point! Ah, no one touched!
Unlucky. You saw Lucifer just like look at that and be like, actually, I'm good up here, and just kind of turn around and walk away from it, especially too when the rest of the team is alive. Kind of hard to do something when you're only a Baptiste, but right now, the buff Bidoofs, they're looking incredibly strong as they've just been rolling this thing forward. They haven't really had any obstacles in the way to slow down this momentum, and that should be War Turtle's main objective right now.
Oh man, and the attack visor coming through, just shredding everyone else. Taco's grouped him up nice and easy. There's nothing to prevent Bidoof from rolling this cart more, Marks.
Look at that. Look at that. It's like, what do you do at this point? It's so difficult as the Molten Core comes down, and that's going to be stunned out of a Shatter with another Shatter. You've got to be kidding me here. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Just absolutely in control of this. As soon as they... Okay, their initial first push, not great. Immediately kind of got shut down there by the War Turtles. But then once they got things moving, it never really stopped. I don't think that they dropped an entire team fight afterwards, and I think that's even reflected in their, what do you call it, time bank right now. Look at that, 4 minutes and 35 seconds still on the clock for them as they got that first point. That is a huge mountain to climb if you are the War Turtle Warlords. That's a tough time bank, but you know what? I think it's time they hopefully are going to start to get a little creative here. Bust out something a little bit unconventional, because I think that's going to be what is going to be needed to kind of make the buff Bidoofs feel uncomfortable. Because right now, there's not much they can do to stop this momentum.
No, and we've seen this pretty consistently from our red team and its evolution, as far as, you know, very comfortable with that aggressive push, continuing to take the space, and once they have pushed the opponent off balance, continuing to push the opponent off balance.
Yeah, that pushing their opponents off balance is exactly what we need them to do. It is interesting. It looks like the buff Bidoofs are going for the hamster composition on this defense. Something a little unconventional, but let's see if they can make it work. Meanwhile, it looks like it's going to be double shield coming out from the War Turtle Warlords. This could be a little bit of an answer to the fury that is the buff Bidoofs.
I thought Badger B was going to get peppered down there in the back line, but does manage to get the reinforcements he needs. Oh, Rented Mars's shield was just shredded so fast. They're pushing into both a Junkrat and a Torbjorn, and it is going to be a lot of damage coming through. Not when Junkrat's already down, though. That does open the opportunity for War Turtle to move forward here, but I don't know if they're going to be able to capitalize. Taco's been harassing the backline like nobody's business. Has to dip out quick and, well, get rehealed and let that anti wear off. A big skirmish coming up here from both tanks, trying to hold this front line, but no one's quite gone down yet. Bjorn does go down though as Badger B takes him out of the equation, and the shield break coming through is still constant from both of these tanks. We can see Rented Mars trying to push forward here, but Apollo just continuing to output the damage with his own primary fire. That turret getting a lot of work. No one's trying to look at turret marks. It's just getting that crossfire damage as soon as anyone steps forward and gets booped forward as well. Tuna's still not looking at it as it's continuing to put in the damage. The tires come through, and I don't know if they're going to be able to block it. Nothing there. 2K. That's going to be Buff B-Doofs holding strong, Marks.
That was something else, but I want to highlight here, Taco has been doing a great job. You know, how War Turtle Warlords have their composition set up. They want to be just kind of moving, over and forwards. You know, it seems like they're focus firing it. Meanwhile, like you said, they're a little tunnel vision, and they're being punished for it right now. Case in point.
Man, that was an aggressive teleporter straight into the back line. Bob manages to find a kill, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. He finds 2 kills off of that. Now Badger B has to take on this Junkrat and has to boop themselves away. There are still picks in advantage of War Turtle Warlords if they can use this spawn advantage to push forward and capitalize on the people walking back from Charizard, or from Bidoof.
Yeah, I guess the good thing about losing those team fights so quickly is you're able to reset a lot quickly as War Turtle Warlords are ready to go once again. Maybe not doing as an aggressive as a push with Young Guns teleporters here. We see now, this might be working out a lot of burn damage coming through.
Yeah, a lot of people were crispy, and they're even crispier from this Molten Core. Bjorn goes ahead and zones everyone away from that side, and now is trying to manage the damage coming through. Tuna does get a pick onto Throw Zone, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. It's some back and forth, and War Turtle needs to aggress forward here. Taco is sleepy and gets pinned. There's so much damage. They saw him. The Junkrat damage coming through to boop him away. The nano has to be committed onto Tuna, and poor Sugar gets taken down in the backline. Can't keep the support going for Tuna's aggression on that nano yet, but there's only 50 seconds left, Marks, and War Turtle just did only a soft regroup. Oh no.
Yeah, and here comes the Riptire. This could be huge. It takes out 2. Oh no.
Wow, that's a reset right there.
Yep. They still thankfully have a little bit of time in order to regroup themselves, get things ready. You know, they might be able to get this Bob online first, and if they throw it out of the point to add a lot of pressure, that could be good. But they're gonna have to do something about this Junkrat right now, especially too with mines coming in from Taco. That's gonna be extremely difficult to push into. Oh no, they're doing the grab mine combo.
Man,
I hate to see it.
That feels so bad for everyone caught in that. There's literally nothing you can do because, well, you're caught. That's what ultimates do and what happens to them. And with that, it looks like Charizard or Buff Bidoofs really showing their muscles and aggression here, just shutting down any potential for a push on that last map. Really came in with quite a vengeance at the end.
They very clearly didn't seem like they enjoyed that very first time that they were on the attack, and so they were like, we're gonna make this, we're gonna recreate this experience, reimagine it, if you will. And that's exactly what they did. They were extremely punishing here. Look at Doggo. Oh man, the Buff Beatus, they just looked stellar. There's no other way to say it.
They were quite swole.
Yes, very swole. It's like they had been working out and got really buff.
All that XP.
Oh. But once again, great showing, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who was joining us here tonight for these pugs. We saw a lot of amazing Overwatch, and that was so much fun to not only watch but also cast alongside you, Sid.
Oh yeah, I had a riot with you today, Marks, and also with Samter as our producer behind the scenes. We've had him in our ear giving us some good tidbits, and of course bringing
research.
you all of the Pokemon facts we need in our broadcast. But Big thanks to everyone, of course, at LSV who helped put this together. They get this together every single week. And, it's always a great turnout and a good time. Some of the matches were a little lopsided, but they came back and there were some strongholds from both. And a lot of switches had
Absolutely.
to be made to accommodate throw zones, just on fire elements this
Clutch
evening.
ability.
Yeah, he popping off today. I don't know what he's
Oh
doing. He
yeah.
must have had a great night's sleep or, he's good on him.
Okay, I'm gonna write this down. Note to self: if I want to be good at Overwatch, I need to get a good night's sleep. Well, I guess I'm just not gonna be good at Overwatch. Thanks for that, Sid.
Oh man, if it was that easy, I feel like we'd have a lot better players in general. I would
Yeah,
be
that's
a lot
probably
better.
fair.
But of course, it takes a lot more finesse than a good
Uh,
night's sleep to be able to put up numbers like 73% kill participation on the board. Yeah, not something I really ever do.
yeah, absolutely. It's stellar performance from Throzone. He's definitely a player that people should be watching out for. And even if you're playing against him, I think it's still good because you get practice on what it's kind of like to play against somebody who is just got that clutch factor. Like, how do you deal with it? That's good for
Yeah,
your own personal growth to figure out.
just so suppressive of any of your ability to move freely, especially when we saw those Pharahs and Echoes come out. Man, what a shutdown.
Yeah.
But, we are closing out our evening. It's getting late for everybody here across the states. And of course, we had a great time with you all. Thank you so much for joining us for the Lone Star Vanguard weekly pugs. We'll be doing it again, of course, next week at the same time. Marks, I've had such a great time casting with you. Anything you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, no, it's been great. Thank you for bringing me on board here. This is the first time that I've been able to cast here, and you know what? I had a great time learning a lot about Pokemon. That was not something that I was expecting, but seriously, it's been great, and watching this community has been pretty fantastic with how they operate. So, uh, honestly, just really happy to be here.
Nice. Well, I am so glad that, you had your debut here with us at Pugs for the first time. Maybe we'll see you around a little bit more here and there.
Hopefully.
But hopefully it'll be us two again. Maybe we'll swap roles next time.
Yeah.
You know, tag
We
team
can
it
talk
out.
fast.
Folks, thank you so much again for joining us this evening. Of course, you can follow below at our Twitters and the Lone Star Vanguard Twitter, Discords, all in the links. You guys know how to find that stuff. Big props to our producer, last call out, Samter. Thanks so much for everything this evening. And folks, you all have a great rest of your night, and we will see you soon.
Being a gamer isn't about winning or losing. It's about the experiences, the accomplishments, and the moments you'll never forget.
The Lone Star Vanguard is the premier gaming community of Texas and home of the official Houston Outlaws supporters group since 2018.
Whether you're an esports fan that just wants to stay up to date on local and virtual watch parties,
or you're looking for a safe and friendly gaming community, the LSV is the place for you.
join up now at lsv.gg and let's game together.